What if everyone betrayed Deku and awakened the evil sleeping inside? This is the rise of evil Deku.
Hello everyone, welcome to What If Deku Was Betrayed by Everyone and Became Reincarnation of Evil movie. Before we start, please go support Jeff3302J for writing that awesome fanfic. This is the translated version I made. There will be some mistaken character's gender, but of course Deku is a male. Prologue. All the heroes can be seen in Principal Nezu's office. Almight. Tell me, Principal Nezu, why have you called us here? Nezu. Well, I've gathered you here because I just received a tape showing the traitor from UA. He plays the tape, showing Izuku Midoriya downloading information and giving it to the League of Villains. Tamura. Well done, kid. The sensei will be proud. Izuku. Here you go. Handing him an envelope, here's everything you asked for. Tamura. Hahaha, you impress me. Well, see you later. Izuku. Okay, I have to get back before they realize I'm gone. The transmission cuts off and all the teachers were in shock. The best student and next symbol of peace had betrayed them. Almight. That bastard lied to me. We have to catch him. He said angrily. Nezu. Calm down, Almight. We shouldn't jump to conclusions. Almight. But you saw it yourself. We have proof. We have to catch him. Almost all the heroes agreed. The only ones who opposed it were Izawa, Endeavor and Nezu, then showed the video to all the students. The students of Class A were upset and felt betrayed, except for Todoroki, who felt something was off. After the heroes showed the video, they told them they had to stop him. Just then, a green-haired boy arrived at the classroom. Upon entering, he noticed everyone staring at him with hatred and disappointment. Izawa told him to go to the principal's office. When he arrived, he felt the hateful stares. Izuku. Principal, did you call me? Nezu. Yes, young man. Please sit down. Izuku. So, what did you want to tell me? Almight. You know very well, Midoriya Shonen, angrily. Then he proceeded to show him the video, which left Izuku in shock. Izuku. That's not me. Almight. Enough with the lies. Hitting the table, I trusted you. Izuku. Almight, listen. But he didn't finish because received a blow to the stomach. Izuku. All Might, why are you hitting me? Spitting out a little blood. Almight. Young Midoriya, give me back one for all. Disappointed. Izuku. In shock, why? Almight. You are not worthy. You will go to jail for working with the League of Villains. Izuku. No, that's not true. I'm innocent. At that moment, he receives another blow that sends him flying into the door and destroys it. Almight. Don't resist, Midoriya Shonen. Izuku. Why don't you believe me? I saw you as a father, why didn't you believe me? He couldn't finish because of another blow from Bakugo. Izuku. Friends, what are you doing? Seeing how Class A was in a fighting stance. Bakugo. Shut up, you damn Deku. You're scum, and I'll kill you. He creates small explosions, and just as he's about to unleash one, he's stopped by the heroes who believe in him. Izawa. Run. We'll stop them. He restrains Bakugo with his bandages. Izuku. Thank you, Izawa-sensei. He starts to run. Almight. Don't let him escape. All the students rush towards him, but they are held back by the heroes and their friends. Almight. You won't escape. Activating 100% of his power, moving at great speed, he delivers a powerful blow to Bakugo's ribs, slamming him into a wall. He's about to deliver another blow, but Endeavor stops him. Almight. What are you doing? Get out of my way. Endeavor. I won't. He gets into a fighting stance. The two engage in a fierce battle where Almight manages to land a powerful punch, knocking him unconscious. He approaches Izuku, who is lying on the ground. Might. You're under arrest. He approaches him and pulls out a hair. The rest of the class then approaches, finishing him off and leaving him badly injured. Worst of all, he saw his girlfriend kissing Iida and Eri, telling him she never wanted to see him again, that Mirio was like a father to her. All he could see was his childhood friend unleashing a powerful explosion that sent him flying. But what they didn't know was that everything was being seen by a shadow that ran towards the green-haired boy. When it arrived, it saw him covered in blood with multiple broken bones. With tears in its eyes, it approached him. Izuku-kun, please forgive me. I didn't mean for this to happen to you. The green-haired boy could only see a blurry shape. Chapter 1. We find ourselves in a dark place where a green-haired boy was waking up. Izuku. Where am I? Oh, so this is the boy. A deep voice spoke. Izuku. Who's there? Getting into a fighting stance. You have nothing to fear, boy. A sinister voice spoke, as if it were the devil himself. Izuku. Where am I? I'm dead. Ahaha, you're not dead yet. The otherworldly voice spoke again. Izuku. Then if I'm not dead, where am I? You're in your mind space. The deep voice spoke. We'd better introduce ourselves. Two figures appeared. One was a giant and the other was a kind of humanoid. Izuku. What are you? You're a reincarnation. Izuku. Reincarnation. Confused. That's right. Let us introduce ourselves. My name is Kronos. And I am Zalgo. Zalgo. We'll tell you what we'll do. We'll give you our power. Izuku. Huh. And why? Kronos. We've seen what those you call friends have done to you. Making the green-haired boy lower his gaze. Zalgo. And tell me, kid, wouldn't you like revenge? We can give you the power to be unstoppable. We can turn you into a god. Izuku. And I. Zalgo. Just look at them. Opening a portal that showed his former friend celebrating, don't you want to at least give them a taste of their own medicine? Izuku. Fine. Determined. Zalgo. Excellent. We'll also train you so you can use all our power. Then Kronos and Zalgo began to glow, and a sphere of light came out of Kronos' body, and a sphere of darkness came out of Zalgo, entering Izuku. Zalgo. Now wake up. We'll see you later. And so, little by little, they faded away, and Izuku, in the real world, woke up startled. Izuku. Where? I am, but then he saw that his wounds were aggravated almost immediately, but he saw that he had bandages on and was in a bed, then he heard someone coming. When he opened it, a Redeed came out who, upon seeing him, dropped what she was carrying and her eyes filled with tears. Izuku-kun, are you really awake? Izuku. Toga, getting into a fighting stance, but then he sees Toga fall to her knees on the floor. Toga. Izuku-kun, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do it, but they threatened me. I never wanted them to hurt you. Crying uncontrollably, please forgive me. Izuku was in shock, but he didn't like seeing girls cry, so he approached her and hugged her. Izuku. I understand. Then he felt the Redeed put her head on his chest and start to cry. Toga. I'm because of me, you won't be able to be a hero anymore. Izuku. That doesn't matter anymore. Besides, stop crying. Wiping away her tears, you look more beautiful when you smile. Giving her a smile, making her blush. Toga. Thank you, Izuku-kun. Hugging him. Then she heard the green-haired boy's stomach rumble, making him embarrassed. Toga. I'll get you something. And so, leaving the place, after a few hours the Redeed returned with some plates of katsudon, surprising the green-haired boy. Izuku. Katsudon. Toga. It's your favorite, isn't it? While tilting her head to one side. Izuku. Yes, thank you. So the two of them started eating. When they finished, it was already 7 p.m. Izuku. Can I ask you a question? Toga. You can ask me anything you want. Izuku. Where did you get the ingredients to make the katsudon? Toga. Well, you were unconscious, I went out to get some food. Izuku. Can I ask you a personal question? Toga. Okay. Surprised. Izuku. Why did you join the league? Why did you become a villain? Toga. Lowering her head. Izuku. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Thinking he said something he shouldn't have. Toga. It's okay. Sighing, when I was little, I was bullied a lot for my quirk, with people saying it was a villain quirk. Sometimes they hit me, and nobody defended me. So I understood that if people judge you for having a villain quirk, then why try to convince them that you can be a hero? A traitorous tear escaped his eye. Izuku. I don't think your quirk is villainous, making Toga look at him confused. Izuku. Just think about it, you could be a great heroine. You could do espionage missions, you could infiltrate enemy bases without being discovered. I don't think you're a villain. The only villains were those kids. You know what I think? I think they were jealous of you for having such a cool quirk. At that, Toga was left thinking about the green-haired boy's words and realized that he was right. No one had ever said those words to her. The only thing she could do was throw herself at the green-haired boy and hug him tightly. He returned the hug and they stayed like that for a few minutes until they separated. Izuku. It's better if we go to sleep now, looking at an almost broken clock that it was 10 o'clock. Toga. Could we stay a little longer? Wanting to feel the green-haired boy's hug. Izuku. Okay. So they hugged again, and the green-haired boy began to gently stroke her head. Toga. I love you, Izuku-kun. Yawning. Izuku. Blushing, good night, Toga-chan. Chapter 2. Toga had fallen asleep on the green-haired boy's chest, so he carried her and laid her on his bed. Izuku sat down on a somewhat worn armchair. Then. Zalgo entered his mindscape. Alright, we'll train for 100 years. Leaving Izuku in shock. Kronos. Judging by your expression, I see you didn't understand. We'll train. Being interrupted by Zalgo. Zalgo. In hell, don't worry, you won't age. Besides, it won't affect you in the real world since time passes faster in hell. Then, a hole opened in the floor, swallowing the three of them. Zalgo. For the first 50 years, you'll train with me. The other 50, you'll train with Kronos. Izuku. Okay. Then. Zalgo checked his fingers, disappearing along with the green-haired boy. Well, first I'll make you suffer your worst nightmare. Giving a sadistic smile that made the freckled boy take a step back. And when he least expected it, the green-haired boy was reliving, over and over again, how he was betrayed by those he considered his friends. Then Zalgo saw his mother, who always helped and supported him, made his smile widen, thus changing the green-haired boy's nightmare and making him believe that his friends were killing his mother, causing the freckled boy to scream in pain, saying that he seemed to be consumed more and more by anger, thus transforming into a demon. Izuku. I said leave her alone. Thus killing everyone. Zalgo. Haha, good boy. And tell me, how do you feel? Izuku. I feel, looking at his hands, alive, but what happened to me? With a hoarse voice. Zalgo. That's your demonic mode, or as I like to call it, Zalgo mode. In that mode, you are invincible, but if you don't control it, you will be consumed by hatred, killing every being around you. Izuku. I understand. Zalgo. Good. You will remain in that mode until you finish your training. Izuku. I understand. And what will we do first? Zalgo. I will teach you how to open portals and teleport. Teleportation only works for things that are in your vision. If they are not, then it won't work. I will also teach you how to enter people's dreams and make the person you want see their worst nightmare. Izuku. I understand. Zalgo. Get into a fighting stance. Show me what you've got and you'd better not hold back, or, devilish voice, you will die. Izuku got into a fighting stance, but Zalgo teleported away quickly, making it impossible for the green-haired boy to land a hit. Zalgo. What's wrong, kid? Izuku. Falling to his knees. Zalgo. Never let your guard down. Teleporting in front of him and kicking him so hard he crashed into 3 mountains, then teleporting back to Izuku. Izuku. Spitting out a large amount of blood and returning to his normal state. Zalgo. You know, if you didn't have my immortality, you'd already be dead. Too bad you didn't last long. Picking up the green-haired boy's body. A few seconds passed, and the green-haired boy woke up. Izuku. Where am I? Zalgo. You're finally awake. Well, let's continue with your training. Izuku. Okay. Zalgo. To create a portal, you just have to concentrate on the exact place you want to go and extend your hand where you want the portal to be created. Izuku. I understand. Stretching out his hand, trying to open a hole, but nothing happened. Zalgo. Try. Izuku imagined the place where he felt at peace. Izuku. Okay. Thinking of the beach where he trained, after a few minutes a small hole began to form, gradually growing larger. Izuku. I'm doing it. But because of this oversight, the hole closed. Zalgo. Stay focused. Once you master it, you'll only need to think about where you want to go. So Izuku trained, trying to create the portal, which he succeeded in doing. After that, Zalgo told him he would teach him how to teleport. Zalgo. Good, but teleportation is more difficult. Teleportation consists of concentrating on your objective. You also have to see the exact place and time you want to appear. 2 weeks passed, during which the green-haired boy trained in teleportation. Zalgo had told him that during the years he would be with him, he wouldn't eat so he would have greater stamina. He also trained with Zalgo, who recorded him, saying that no blow would hit him and he would end up with serious injuries, but they would regenerate immediately. Even if you cut off his arm or broke it in half, it would regenerate. Zalgo. Hey kid, I have a surprise for you. Izuku. And what is it? Zalgo. This, snapping his fingers, a person tied to a chair appears. I want you to enter his mind and torture him. Izuku. Aye. At that moment, the man wakes up. Man. Where am I? Looking at Zalgo. Please don't hurt me. Zalgo. Come on, kid, what are you waiting for? Man. No, please, I'll pay you whatever you want. Zalgo. What are you waiting for? Picking up the freckled boy and bringing him closer to the man. Man. Please, old man, I have a family, I have a daughter, please don't kill me. Crying. Izuku. No, I can't do it. Zalgo. Don't let your feelings control you. Izuku. I can't do it. Zalgo. Then why don't you check his memories? Izuku. Huh. Zalgo. Do it. In a demanding tone. So Izuku proceeded to look at the subject's memories and was surprised to find that he was an alcoholic who abused his family and one day came home very drunk and killed his wife and daughter while they screamed for mercy. Zalgo. And tell me, boy, what will you do? Izuku. With a cold look. Man. Please, no. But then he sees his wife and daughter in front of him, Laura, Emily, is it you? But he sees him murdering them again and again. Man. No, stop, please, no, I wanted stop, please stop. While he moved from one place to another, everything went dark and Izuku appeared. Izuku? She was just a child. Putting his shoulder on the child. Child. Please don't hurt me. Crying. Izuku? You know, people like you make me sick. I was going to let you go. I never thought about hurting anyone, much less killing, but thanks to you, I realized something. People have two faces and only show one. Maintaining his claws and slowly approaching. Child. Please no, I beg you, please, I don't want to die. Crying. Izuku. Stroking his head, goodbye. And with a swift movement, he cut off his head. Zalgo. Not bad, haha. Thus passed 50 years, during which Zalgo brought people to Izuku to torture him, turning him into a blood addict. Each day, Zalgo showed him the betrayal of his friends, turning Izuku into a being of hatred and resentment. But he also saw those who hadn't betrayed him crying, thinking he was dead, and he was surprised to see the bi-colored boy cry. He also saw his mother suffering. Seeing this, Izuku wanted to go to her and hug her, but he couldn't. Chapter 3. The years he spent with Zalgo were torture. Whenever he made a mistake or failed, Zalgo would torture him by cutting off his limbs or stabbing him with swords. This made the green-haired boy immune to pain. Now it was time for the green-haired boy to train with Kronos. Kronos. Alright kid, I'll teach you the fury of the titans. To endure this training, you'll have to run with these rocks tied to your feet and hands. Then you have to do 1000 sit-ups, push-ups, and finally, you have to break the stone. Izuku. Why don't I just break it with my power? Kronos. Hahaha, you wouldn't even scratch it. You can barely keep up with Zalgo, but if you want to try, go ahead. He sat down. Izuku approached the stone and struck it with such force that only the sound of something breaking was heard. But he saw that the stone was intact and what had broken was his hand. Izuku. Wow, it's really resistant. Kronos. Hahaha, I warned you. The only thing it can break it, it's the fury of the titans. You'd better start, but you have to keep something in mind. Izuku. And what is that? Kronos. Using the fury of the titans without learning to control it properly will cause you two problems. Izuku. Serious, so I shouldn't abuse that power too much. It's like Ofa. Kronos. That's right, even though I had it before you accepted our deal. Izuku. Huh. What do you mean? Kronos. Zalgo told me that you still had that power, but when you agreed to be our reincarnation, we had to get rid of that power of yours. Izuku. What? Surprised, but how was Almight supposed to take it from me? At that moment, Zalgo appears. Zalgo. I can explain that to you. You see, that power can't be taken away without the wielder's permission, but that hero of yours forgot about that. Izuku. So that means. Zalgo. That's right. Ofa ceased to exist. What the new successor has are only the embers, while Almight's remaining flame has been extinguished. It's only a matter of time before he can no longer use it, or if he stays in his muscular form longer, he'll have even less power. Izuku. Lowering his head, I see. And can I ask you something? Zalgo. Of course. Izuku. Who is the new successor? Zalgo. Smiling, why don't you see for yourself? He then showed Bakugo training, with All Might supporting him, causing the green-haired boy to exert pressure, cracking the ground. Izuku. Just like that, he replaced me. He began to cry, but blood was coming from one eye. To get revenge, the green-haired boy began to hit the stone until he was exhausted. Izuku. Excuse me, I want to ask you a favor. Looking at Kronos. Kronos. And what is it you want? Izuku. I want to accelerate my training. Kronos. Are you sure? Izuku. That's right, in a cold tone. Kronos. Okay, thus changing the rocks the green-haired boy had, which weighed as much as a mountain. Then the green-haired boy wasted no time and began to train, running with the rocks. Kronos also threw rocks at him to make him hurry. After 2 years, the green-haired boy had been able to control 25% of the Titan's fury, managing to break the rock. Kronos. Excellent, kid. Then I think you're ready to fight the two of them. Izuku. Good. At that moment, Zalgo made spikes appear beneath Izuku, who managed to dodge them, but Kronos took advantage of him being in the air, giving him a powerful punch. The only thing the freckled boy could do was cover himself with his arms to avoid taking any damage, thus going flying, but he was stopped by Zalgo, who grabbed him by the foot with some tentacles, pulling him down and slamming him against the ground. Kronos. Come on, kid, use everything we've taught you. At that moment, the green-haired boy transformed into his Zalgo mode, or as the green-haired boy calls it, nightmare mode. Izuku. Haha, let's begin. In a sadistic voice. He teleported to Zalgo, delivering powerful and precise blows. When Zalgo tried to punch him in the face, the green-haired boy opened a portal in front of him and closed it, severing his arm. Then he grabbed his foot and threw him into another portal. Kronos threw a punch, which the green-haired boy braced himself against to withstand the impact. The Titan's fist struck the green-haired boy, who had caught it with both hands, but the blow was so powerful that it started to move him. At that moment, Izuku had the idea to combine his nightmare mode with the fury of the Titans. He didn't know what might happen, so he decided to do it. He jumped, and Kronos, seeing him in the air, threw another punch that made a loud crack upon impact, sending Izuku crashing to the ground. Kronos looked at his hand and saw that it was broken. Kronos. You did well, kid. At that moment, Izuku he took 2 steps and fell to the ground unconscious. Zalgo. I see the boy used his most powerful techniques. Kronos. Why didn't you appear earlier? Zalgo. I wanted to see how far the boy is willing to go. Kronos. It's best to let him rest. Seeing the green-haired boy return to normal. Zalgo. You're right. He's trained very hard and I haven't let him sleep while he was with me. Disappearing into a portal. Kronos. Seeing his broken hand and fixing it himself, he's processing things very quickly. He then left, leaving the green-haired boy unconscious. Meanwhile, Zalgo and Kronos were talking. Kronos. Are you going to teach him how to distort the environment? Zalgo. No, I'll just tell him how. That will be his final test and you'll teach him the fury of the Titans. Kronos. I don't know if he's worthy of that power. Maybe I'll test him. Seeing that Zalgo is serious, and now, what are you thinking about? Zalgo. About what the boy could do if he loses control of his emotions. Kronos. That's what we're going to do. Not to train him, so he doesn't lose control and kill everyone who crosses his path. Zalgo. I know that, but it seems the boy's hatred grows every day. Kronos. I know, it's up to him to see which path he'll choose. The path of hatred or the path of forgiveness. And so the conversation ended and each went his own way. Chapter 4. The next morning, the green-haired boy woke up. Izuku. What happened? He said, dazed. Zalgo. Wow, kid, you really are a heavy sleeper. Izuku. How long was I asleep? Zalgo. A week. Surprising the green-haired boy, well, let's continue with your training. So he trained for the 50 years he had left, where he learned to control 50% of the Titan's fury. He could also keep up with them, but he still wasn't strong enough to hold his own in a fight and make them use their 100%. Kronos. Izuku, your training is complete and I want to give you something. Handing him a scythe. Izuku. Thank you. Taking the scythe. Zalgo. Well, kid, that's it. Starting to glow just like Kronos. Izuku. What? But where are you going? Zalgo. Our time is up. By the way, you'll change a bit. Izuku. You can't leave me. I still have so much to learn. But he's interrupted by Kronos. Kronos. We've taught you everything we know. Now it's up to you. Zalgo. Goodbye, kid. And so Kronos and Zalgo disappeared into small particles that merged with the green-haired boy. At that moment, the green-haired boy wakes up startled but feels himself being hugged, calming him down. Toga. Izuku-kun, you're awake. I was worried. She said happily. Izuku. How long did I sleep? Toga. You were asleep for 2 weeks. I thought that you had died. Making tears well up in his eyes. Izuku. I'm sorry for worrying you, Toga-chan. Wiping away her tears and making her blush because of how he called her. Toga. And no it matters, by the way, I like your new style, blushing. At that moment, Izuku got up and went to a mirror. When he saw himself in the mirror, he noticed that his hair had turned black with red tips and his emerald eyes had been replaced by red eyes that seemed to only show a thirst for blood. He had also grown a little. At that moment, he was interrupted by Toga. Toga. And what will you do now? She said doubtfully. Izuku. Well, I'll become a vigilante. And what about you? Can't you return to the league? Toga. Lowering her head. Izuku. Why don't you stay with me? Making the blonde raise her head. Toga. You'd really do that for me? But why did I ruin your life? Sadly. Izuku. You did it because you had no choice. Besides, what do you say? We could be vigilantes. At that moment, he was knocked down by the redeed. Toga. Thank you, Izuku-kun. Giving him a kiss on the cheek, making the green-haired boy blush. Izuku. I'm hungry. How about we go get something to eat? Toga. Okay. Raising her arms, this will be a date. Making the green-haired boy blush. So the two left the house, wearing hoods so people wouldn't recognize them. Meanwhile, what happened at UA during the 2 weeks that the green-haired boy was unconscious? Well, Uraraka was in her relationship with Iida, Bakugo had become more arrogant, while Todoroki distanced himself from everyone. Momo had confessed her feelings to him, but he rejected her, saying that he couldn't be with someone who abandons a friend. He had also started an investigation with Aizawa, Endeavor and Nezu to uncover clues that Izuku was innocent. He even stayed up some nights to prove his friend's innocence, as he wanted to at least restore the name of the person who helped and supported him, so he could reconcile with his father. Eri was with Mirio and didn't care about the death of the one who rescued her from Overlord and made her smile again. The Hussy Cats had also found out what they had done and wanted to kill everyone, especially Almight. But when Koda found out, he hated everyone and went back to his old ways, except for those who hadn't betrayed him. Koda couldn't believe that his hero, who had saved him from Muscular, risking his life for him, had betrayed him. He also distanced himself from Eri, since she too had turned her back on the one who saved her, even though he was helping with the investigation to clear his hero's name. But he had a feeling that Izuku might still be alive. While the villains celebrated, having gotten rid of a big problem, they were now planning to attack UA. Back with Izuku. He was eating with Toga at an underworld restaurant, since Toga had told him they wouldn't be bothered there. After they finished, Izuku paid for the meal, and then they went to buy some clothes, since the freckled boy's clothes were worn out. Torn and stained with blood, which Toga found beautiful, the freckled boy bought himself an elegant suit that fit him perfectly, highlighting his muscles and well-defined abdomen. Some girls blushed as they looked at him with desire, but Toga pulled out her knife, scaring them away. Once that was done, Toga took him to a bar where they offered mercenary work. At first, Izuku didn't want to go, but Toga convinced him that they would need a lot of money to repair the house they were living in. So, he agreed. Upon arriving, they asked a worker if they could get a job, but he told them they had to fill out a form to be assigned the rank of the missions they could do. They filled it out and handed it in, and the worker told them their answer would arrive tomorrow. They accepted and left. When they got home, they lay down on their bed, where the freckled boy was nervous since he had never slept with a girl before, while Toga had lain down and was waiting for the green-haired boy. Toga. Hey, what's wrong? Aren't you coming? Izuku. Yeah, I'm coming. The green-haired boy lay down and closed his eyes, but he opened them suddenly because Toga had hugged him and her head was on his chest. The freckled boy didn't know what to do, so he took her hand and began to stroke the blonde's head, who had already fallen asleep. The green-haired boy slowly began to close his eyes until he fell asleep and without realizing it, he hugged Toga. Chapter 5. The next morning, the green-haired boy woke up noticing the position the old Izuku was in. He would have blushed and fainted, but now he could only smile. Getting up, he decided to prepare breakfast. Since they didn't have much, he decided to make waffles with orange juice. After a few minutes, Toga woke up because she hadn't sensed the green-haired boy's presence. She went to the small dining room where she found him serving the dishes. Toga. Good morning, Izuku-kun, stretching. Izuku. Good morning, Toga-chan. Did you sleep well? Pouring her juice. Toga. Yep. So the two began to eat. Once finished, they changed, and upon leaving their house, they found a letter. Picking it up and reading it. They said. Congratulations, you have demonstrated great skills for working as mercenaries. If you wish, you can start today. The only thing you would need are your names to conceal your identities. By the way, your rank as a mercenary is SS. Congratulations, not many are of this rank. After finishing reading it, the two were so excited that without wasting any time they went to the underworld and re-entered the place where they had filled out the form. Worker? Well, I see it's you too. What can I do for you? Izuku? We want a job. Showing the form, surprising the worker. Worker? Of course, I just have to give you your membership. With that, you can take jobs without any problem. And tell me what your names will be. So the two were left thinking of a name. Worker? Don't worry, if you don't have one yet, you can tell me on the next mission you take. Izuku? Thanks, and tell me what jobs you have. Worker? I have one that has to be done tonight and the pay isn't bad. Toga? And what's it about? Worker? You have to kill some guys. Showing them a photo, their leader is called Jack. He's a drug trafficker and sells women to the best bidders. Tonight there will be an auction at the abandoned dock north of the city. He's very elusive. If you want to catch him, it's tonight. A great job for your first time. So the green-haired boy and the red-haired girl looked at each other, giving him the answer. Izuku Toga. We accept. So, taking the job, they headed to the auction, but on the way, Izuku decided to buy Toga a dress so she could fit in at the auction, so he bought her a beautiful black dress with a parasol. Upon arriving at the auction site, they encountered several masked figures. After putting on their masks, they waited for the leader. Toga, to appear. Toga said, I don't think he'll look like himself. She was a little uneasy. Izuku suggested, let's wait a little longer. They waited another 3 hours until Jack finally appeared with his companions. Jack announced, "Gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming here and waiting until the end. I've brought you the finest beauties. With you, we have 3 girls." The 3 women were brought and chained, exciting those present. Jack continued, "Very well, how about we begin this auction with 1,000 yen?" They began raising their paddles, and within minutes, the total had surpassed 20,000 yen. Each time a paddle was raised, the green-haired boy grew angrier and wanted to kill everyone. His breaking point was seeing a hero at the auction. Jack declared, "Sold to the gentleman with the fox mask now." But he was interrupted by the freckled boy. "Izuku. That's it, now I'll kill them and they'll pay with their souls." At that moment, Toga lunged at one of them and slit his throat, starting a massacre. Then they saw Jack trying to escape. "Toga. Go after him, I'll handle this." Her face was red from the blood she was spilling. So Izuku chased Jack, but he wanted to make the chase a little more interesting, so he decided to put what he had learned into practice. He saw Jack's fear and used it to his advantage. The chase reached the rooftop, where Jack, upon opening the door, saw something that paralyzed him. "Jack." Caught Camila, looking at his daughter. "Camila. I miss you, Daddy." Hugging him. "Jack. But how could I saw you die." Crying and hugging his daughter tightly because he felt that if he let go, she would disappear. But then he felt something wet and looked. It was blood. "Jack. No, please." Scared, pressing on the wound. "Camila. I love you so much, Daddy." Disappearing. "Jack. No, don't go. Please come back," hitting the ground and shedding tears, "please come back to me, baby." "Izuku. If you want, I can send you to where your daughter is," in a motionless voice. "Jack." Looking at him, "You." At that moment, Izuku snaps his fingers. "Camila. Come on, Daddy," taking Jack's hand. Then she leads him to the edge of the building. "Camila. You just have to jump and we can be together." "Jack. I can't," backing away. "Izuku. Too bad," cutting off his head with his scythe. Thus, splattering his suit with blood, then he teleports to where Toga had dyed her dress red. "Izuku. Well, I see you had fun." "Toga. And it seems I'm not the only one who had fun tonight." A little excited seeing the freckled boy covered in blood. "Izuku. Well, I had to have some fun after doing nothing for 5 hours." Then they realize the girls are still chained up. "Izuku. Well, you're free." Breaking the chains. The girls thank him by giving him a kiss on the cheek, making Toga jealous. If Izuku weren't there, she would kill them. They head to the bar to collect payment for their mission. The worker is surprised that they completed the job almost without problems, giving them the payment of 10,000 yen. The 2 leave and arrive home. "Toga. So, what will we do with all this money, Izuku-kun?" While lying down on the bed. "Izuku. Well, we'll fix up the house." "Toga. No, we're going to rent an apartment." "Izuku. I don't like it here. It's quiet and there's no one around." "Toga. Okay, if you like it, I like it too." So the 2 went to sleep. Izuku couldn't sleep because part of him knew what he had done was wrong, but another part of him enjoyed killing that guy. He wondered if it was because Algo forced him to torture and kill the people he brought with him, or if he had truly changed. He decided not to dwell on it and slowly drifted off to sleep. Chapter 6. 2 weeks have passed since Izuku and Toga became highly regarded mercenaries and vigilantes, feared by both heroes and villains. With the money they earned, they were able to rebuild their house and buy furniture and decorations. During that week, Izuku and Toga had grown very close, to the point of being considered a couple. Now, they were returning from a mission to eliminate a stalker. Their clothes were stained with blood, something Izuku quickly became accustomed to after killing and torturing his victims. Upon arriving, Toga prepared dinner. After finishing, Izuku washed the dishes and went to sleep. The next morning, they went to pick up a job and noticed a large crowd, which caught their attention. Izuku asked what was going on. "Izuku. Hey, do you know what's happening? Didn't you hear? Someone put a huge bounty on the head of the #1 villain." This shocked them both. "Izuku. And do you know who put it on?" "No, but this is a mission. For those of SS and SSS rank, they will be the candidates to kill the #1 villain." Excited. At that moment, the manager comes out with a microphone. "Manager. Ahem, very well, as you may have noticed, a client paid 10 million yen for the head of the #1 villain." At that moment, shouts were heard due to such a large sum of money. Manager. "Now I'm going to ask you this. The client gave us 4 days to kill him, leaving everyone in shock. I know it's very little time, but those are the client's orders. You can work in groups, as he leaves, but stops. Oh, and one more thing. Try not to die, okay?" While showing a macabre smile, as he leaves. Everyone was talking and trying to plan something that could kill the number one villain, so little by little they left, leaving only Izuku and Toga. Toga. Are you thinking about something? While smiling at the green-haired boy's expression. Izuku. Maybe, smiling. What do you say we go? I have things to do. And so, the two left. But from the shadows, someone was watching them. The mysterious figure followed them stealthily, but he hadn't counted on Izuku detecting his presence. Izuku. Toga, get ready. Getting serious. Toga. Haha, someone's going to die. While preparing her knife. Izuku teleported to where the figure was, kicking him in the stomach, sending him flying towards Toga. The two of them surrounded the figure. Izuku. Who are you and why were you following us? TSK, you damn brat. Pulling off his hood, surprising the green-haired boy and the blonde girl. Toga. Tamura. Tightening her grip on her knife. Tamura. Hahaha, I see you didn't die. Looking at the green-haired boy. Izuku. TSK, what do you want? Resisting the urge to disembowel him right then and there. Tamura. I'm the one who paid the client. Leaving the two present confused. Izuku. You paid to have Afo killed. But why? He's your teacher. Tamura. I know, but I'm tired of waiting to be his successor. I've always followed the sensei's orders without question, but nothing I do is enough for him. That's why I want you to kill him. Toga. And how do we know if we can trust you? You almost got my baby Izuku killed. Annoyed. Tamura. Calm down, brat. I was just following the sensei's orders, just like everyone else. And I'll tell you how you can trust me. Izuku. I'm listening. Tamura. The League is planning to attack UA in 3 days. That's the moment when you can attack. Izuku. Seeing that he wasn't lying, sighing, okay, but it better not be a trap or else, distorting the place, making Tamura see the green-haired boy tearing off his skin and transforming into a being that made him tremble, matter, in a demonic voice. Tamura. This is F5 fine, backing away. And so the freckled boy made everything return to normal. Izuku. Good, now go. And so Tamura left. Toga. Hahaha, what did you teach him to run like that? While still laughing. Izuku. Nothing, I just showed him what I am. And so the two left for his house. Meanwhile, at UA, Endeavor, Aizawa, Shoto, Kota, and Nezu were gathered. Aizawa. Principal, why have you called us here? From inside his sleeping bag. Nezu. Well, I want to tell you that young Todoroki managed to find proof that young Izuku is innocent. Surprising the others. Kota. So that means. Hopeful that he could clear his hero's name. Nezu. That's right, young Izuku is innocent and the video is a lie. Endeavor. But how come the video wasn't there? Confused. Aizawa. You're right, the video was 100% original. Confused. Nezu. Well, but there were two important details we didn't take into account, young Todoroki. Shoro. Turning on the projector and playing the video, here you see Izuku supposedly giving information to the League, but if you look at the date, Izuku had gone to his mother's house for his birthday, and as you can see, the person impersonating Izuku is a little older than the real Izuku. Leaving everyone surprised. Nezu. Well, that proves Izuku's innocence. You may leave. And so everyone left with a smile, since they had proven the innocence of their friend hero student. Kota. Finally, we'll prove that he wasn't an imposter. While shedding a few tears, but then he feels someone touch his shoulder. Todoroki. He would be proud of you. Looking out a window. Kota. He's not dead, making the bi-colored boy look at him, he's not dead. I have a feeling he's alive, with determined eyes, making the bi-colored boy smile. Todoroki. You're right. His body hasn't been found yet. Todoroki's thoughts. I'll be waiting for you, friend, watching as sunlight streamed through the window. Back with Izuku, he was lying on a couch. Izuku. Achoo. I think someone remembered me, stealing his nose. Toga. At least you know there's someone who remembers you, hugging him from behind. Toga. But it better not be a girl, or else, putting a knife to the green-haired boy's throat, she'll have me to deal with, making a small cut and taking a little of his blood. Izuku. Haha, you know I only want you, as the wound closed. And so, the two kissed. Chapter 7. The 3 days had passed during which Tamura kept them informed of the League's plans. Izuku and Toga had prepared themselves and headed to a building to watch the fight between Almight and Afo. In a moment of carelessness, Afo knocked Almight to the ground. Almight. I promised to defeat you like I did with the traitor. Trying to stand up. Afo. Hahaha, traitor. What traitor are you talking about? Almight. I'm talking about young Midoriya. Afo. Hahaha, he wasn't the traitor. Surprising everyone, in fact, there never was a traitor. Almight. In shock, you're lying. I saw him. Afo. You're talking about the video? Seriously, how stupid are heroes to trust a video sent by villains? At that, all of the green-haired boys' friends burst into tears. Their friend had been killed and they didn't even hold back. Uraraka. Deku-kun, forgive me. Falling to her knees, tears streaming down her face, they came out of it. Eri. No, it's not true, in shock, what have I done? Crying, being comforted by Mirio. Afo. Well, I think your end has come. All Might, say hello to Nana for me. But then, in the middle of the battlefield, a portal opened and Izuku and Toga came out, leaving everyone wide-eyed. Afo. TSK, I see you're still alive and you, looking at Toga, are a damn traitor. But well, first I'll kill the boy and then I'll deal with you. Izuku. Wow, that was quite an entrance. Looking at All Might, you're pathetic, symbol of peace. All Might. Young Midoriya, Izuku. Shut up. You mean nothing to me. Now you'd better not interfere or, in a demonic voice, I'll kill you. Scaring All Might and everyone else watching the fight. Afo. Haha, show me what you've got. Izuku. I'll have fun. With you, Toga-chan, you could take care of the others. Opening another portal. Toga. Of course, Izuku-kun. Giving him a kiss, making a brunette jealous, and entering the portal. Izuku. Well, I'd better entertain myself. So, launching himself towards Afo, who started hitting him, but Izuku teleported, making it difficult for the villain to land an attack. Everyone watched this in amazement. Others wondered how he could do that. Afo was getting annoyed since the freckled boy was toying with him. Afo. Fight seriously. Thus, throwing fire at him. Izuku. But if I fight seriously, this fight wouldn't be any fun. Smiling arrogantly. Afo. Becoming serious since he knew that if he lowered his guard he could lose. Then he activated his augmentation quirk, where he punched him, raising a cloud of dust. Everyone was scared since they thought the green-haired boy couldn't withstand that blow, but when the dust settled, everyone was surprised since they saw the green-haired boy holding the fist and with one hand. Afo how surprised since he had used that attack against All Might. Izuku. You call that hitting? I'll show you what a real punch is. He closed his fist and punched the villain in the stomach, sending him flying. Then he teleported behind him and delivered an axe kick that sent him crashing to the ground. Izuku. Hahaha, I thought the most feared villain could give me a good fight. But then Afo took the opportunity to throw some metal bars that pierced the green-haired boy. All Might. Midoriya shonen. Uraraka. Deku-kun. Covering her mouth. Eri. Daddy, no. Crying harder. Everyone watched the scene in horror, but they froze when they saw the green-haired boy start to laugh. Izuku. Don't think this will save you. Removing the bars. Afo. I impossible. How? Izuku. You can't kill someone who's already dead. Now let me show you your worst nightmare. Transforming into his nightmare mode, scaring everyone all. Izuku. Now you'll know hell. He slowly approached, watching the villain's fear grow, making his smile even wider once he was in front of him. Afo. Die already. He placed his hand on the green-haired boy's chest and sent a blast of air that left a large hole, but he watched as the hole slowly closed. Izuku. Boo. He ripped off the villain's head in the most grotesque way, causing blood to spurt out and stain the green-haired boy. Then he opened a portal where Toga emerged, covered in blood. Izuku. Did you have fun? Toga. Yep, although I wanted more. She pouted. Izuku. Well, I've got what we wanted. It's time to go. He transformed back. They were about to enter the portal when someone grabbed Izuku's leg, causing him to look down and find All Might in his skeletal form. All Might. Young Midoriya, but he is kicked by the freckled boy. Izuku. TSK, I don't want your words. Looking at the news helicopter, my name is Izuku Midoriya and you don't have to be afraid of me. I will be a hero and this is my girlfriend, Toga. Approaching her and taking her by the waist, she's a former member of the League of Villains and I don't have a daughter. Making a white-haired girl devastated and a brunette feel a pang in her heart, goodbye, symbol of peace. Entering the portal. Nobody said anything. Everyone had their heads down, except for those who already knew the truth. Todoroki had a smile on his face, and Koda, who was at his aunt's house, was jumping for joy because his hero hadn't died and had returned, even more powerful than in the movies. All Might. Young Midoriya, forgive me. What have I done? Clenching his fists in helplessness. Elsewhere, at Izuku and Toga's house. Toga. That was fun. And tell me, now that the world knows the truth, what are you going to do? Izuku. They'll probably come looking for us, and knowing the principal, he'll probably want us to join UA. Seeing Toga lower her head. Izuku. Don't worry, I won't let them bother you, and anyone who tries, his eyes turning red and a killer instinct coming on, I'll kill them slowly and painfully. Toga. Blushing, you always know what to say to a lady. And so, the two kissed passionately, and that night moans and screams echoed through the forest. Chapter 8. The next morning, Izuku and Toga were waking up. Izuku. Good morning, Toga-chan, giving her a smile. Toga. Good morning, Izuku-kun, giving him a kiss. Izuku. What would you like for breakfast? Toga. Pancakes, she said in a childish tone. Izuku. Okay, getting out of bed, putting on his boxers, and heading to the kitchen. After a few minutes, the green-haired boy came out with 2 plates. He noticed Toga walking a little strangely. Izuku. Are you alright? Approaching her. Toga. I think you were a bit rough yesterday, while rubbing herself. Izuku. Sorry, I think I got carried away, embracing Toga bridal style. Meanwhile, at UA, everyone was gathered except for Todoroki and Izawa. Nezu. Very well, as you can see, the innocence of young Midoriya has been proven. Iida. Excuse me, principal, but where is Todoroki and Izawa-sensei, while moving his arms like a robot? At that moment everyone started wondering the same thing. Nezu. They went looking for young Midoriya. Everyone. What? Almight. And why didn't you tell me so I could go with them? A little angry. Class 1A. He's right, supporting the symbol of peace. Nezu. After what they did to him, I don't think it was a good idea, was it? Making the symbol of peace lower his head and others simply fell silent since the little rodent was right. Meanwhile, Todoroki was waiting for Koda along with Izawa and Endeavor, whom the principal asked to accompany them. Once they picked up little Koda, they headed to look for Izuku. Izawa. And where should we look for him first? Todoroki. Well, thinking of the possible places he could be. Endeavor. I know where, calling the attention of both. Izawa. Really? Endeavor. Yes, like this, going ahead, followed by the others. After a few hours, they had arrived in the underworld where everyone stared at them, making Koda. Izawa, nervous. Are you sure it's this way? Keeping an eye out in case he had to fight. Endeavor. Yes, and don't ask questions, just keep going. They arrived at a bar where a worker greeted them. Children aren't allowed here. Looking at Koda, who made the little boy stand behind Izawa's legs. Izawa. We don't want any trouble, we just want to know if you know where this boy is. Showing him a picture of the green-haired boy. Worker. Analyzing the photo, no, I haven't seen him. Now, if you're not going to ask for anything, it's best if you leave. Heroes aren't very welcome here. Making everyone stand up from their seats. Todoroki. Grabbing him by the shirt and pulling him closer, are you going to tell us where he is, or else? Starting to activate his ice quirk, which began to slowly freeze the man. Worker. Seeing that he was serious, okay. Writing the address on a piece of paper, I recommend that visitors are not very welcome. The 4 of them then left the place, heading towards where Izuku was. At Izuku's house. He and his girlfriend had changed clothes and wanted to relax, so they stayed home watching a movie until Izuku sensed 4 presences heading towards him. Izuku. So here they come. But he sensed more presences approaching at high speed, TSK, and it seems the others have followed them. Toga. You want to have some fun. With her knife in her hand. Izuku. It wouldn't be boring, besides, I wouldn't want them to see so much carnage. Toga. Pouting. Izuku. Relax, we can have fun later. The environment changed, making it a little darker. Then a huge explosion knocked down the wall, revealing Class 1 along with the big 3. Almight and Eri were also there. Todoroki, Izawa, Endeavor and Koda were walking when they saw a house and heard a loud explosion. They ran as fast as they could to find out what was happening, finding the others there. But everyone was surprised to see Toga on Izuku's lap, kissing him, which made Uraraka jealous. Toga. Well, it seems we have unexpected visitors. Looking at the brunette with a smile, causing her to frown. Izuku. You're right. His eyes changed from emerald green to blood red, glowing in the dark. He stood up and walked over to his friend. Izuku. It's good to see you again. At that moment, Koda ran out and hugged the green-haired boy. Koda. I knew it, I knew you were alive. Izuku. It's good to see you too. Todoroki. It's good to see you. With a smile. Izuku. Same here. Smiling, they bumped fists. Todoroki. Welcome back, Izuku. Izawa. Making a face and activating his quirk, making Izuku a little nervous. Izuku. Izawa-sensei. Izawa. You have a lot to explain. Deactivating his quirk, but I'm glad you're alright, kid. Endeavor. It's good that you're alright. Neutral but inside he was happy. Izuku. Thanks guys, while completely ignoring the others, making them angry. At that moment, Principal Nezu appeared. Young Izuku, I'm glad you're alright. I wanted to ask if you'd like to return to the academy. Izuku. Okay, but I want to ask you 4 things. Nezu. And what is it you want? With interest. Izuku. I want Toga to be a hero candidate, surprising everyone. Iida. That's impossible. A villain can't, but he fell as the green-haired boy appeared in front of him, grabbing him by the neck. Izuku. You better watch your words. I wouldn't want to kill you here, releasing a great killing intent. And that goes for everyone else too, which made them just nod. Almight. Young Midoriya, let him go. So Izuku let go of his neck and reappeared next to Toga. Izuku. The second thing is that I want my house repaired because of the mess you made when you broke in, especially that hole that Izuku, the blonde on steroids, caused this, making it a low blow for the symbol of peace. Izuku. Third, I want all charges against Togen-chan dropped, and lastly, I want you to let us kill the villains, leaving everyone in shock. All Might. Never. Not a hero. But Nezu interrupted him. Nezu. Deal. Extending his paw. Izuku. Good. Thus sealing the deal. Nezu. It starts tomorrow. I'll be waiting. With a smile. Eri. Daddy. Running to hug him, but just as she was about to hug him, the green-haired boy teleported away, causing the little white-haired girl to fall. Izuku. I think I made it clear. I don't have a daughter. Mirio. Izuku, that wasn't right. But he felt a chill when he looked into the green-haired boy's eyes. Izuku. She has to learn that her actions will have consequences. Looking at the principal, then, I'll see you tomorrow. Taking Toga by the waist, goodbye. They all watched as a portal opened beneath them, swallowing them whole. Nezu then closed it. Alright, then everyone, leave. He left with Todoroki, Endeavor, Koda and Izawa, leaving the others depressed because they knew they would never get their Izuku back. I want you to go to my YouTube channel and support me. Until next time. Chapter 9. The next morning, Izuku and Toga were heading to UA in a luxury sports car, speeding and running red lights. How did they get the car? Well, moments before, they had taken on a mission to eliminate the head of a corporation. They chased him to a vault where they killed him. Exploring the vault, they found a large container. Izuku opened it, revealing the black sports car. Toga, excited, exclaimed. It's beautiful. Izuku, opening the door, said, I'd like to take it for a spin, ma'am. Toga replied. Yes. And got into the car. Izuku sensed several presences and thought the man had called the police. He got in and said, hold on. And started the car. He waited until the police were closer and then started the car, crashing through a wall and escaping. They drove through the city, trying to lose the police. Toga called out, Izuku-kun, don't forget, we have to go see the principal today. He stuck his hand out the window holding a grenade and threw it, hitting 2 police cars. Izuku. Slamming on the brakes, damn it, I forgot. He turned around and headed towards UA. It was a scene straight out of a chase. In the distance, they could see the gates of UA. Toga. Look, Izu baby, we're almost there. Excited, but when they got a little closer, they saw a barrier of several police cars. Damn it. Pouting. Izuku. I'm going to try something new. As he floored the accelerator. Hold on tight. Toga. This is fun. The police saw that he wasn't going to stop for anything, so they got ready to shoot. When they were close to the line of fire, a portal opened and the car disappeared, surprising the authorities. Inside the UA facilities, a portal opened and the car came out, causing both teachers and students to come out to see what was happening. They got out of the car. Izuku and Toga surprised everyone. Toga. That was fun. Raising her hands. Izuku. I didn't think that would work. Nezu. I'm glad you could come. Please follow me. So the two followed him under everyone's watchful eyes. The 3 of them arrived at the principal's office. Nezu. Well, young Midoriya, as promised, taking out a folder with several files, here are all of Miss Himiko's charges. She is now free of all charges. Making the blonde happy. Izuku, thank you principal. Nezu. Here are your uniforms and the keys to your rooms. Handing each of them their respective uniform and key, your class will be 1A. Professor Izawa has already been informed of this, so you can change and go to your class. So the 2 left and went to the bathrooms to change. Once they were both changed, they headed to their classroom where Izuku knocked on the door, which was opened by Izawa, who was in his sleeping bag. Izawa. It's good that you're here. Looking at his students, listen everyone, today we have 2 new students. Izuku and Toga entered. Izawa. Introduce yourselves. Toga. Hi, my name is Himiko Toga, Izuku's girlfriend. Taking his arm, annoying a brunette girl who broke the pencil she was holding. Izuku. Well, I don't have to introduce myself. Izawa. Well, you can sit down. And so the class began, where some students couldn't stop staring at the green-haired boy, especially a certain Muslim boy who clenched his teeth in fury. When class ended, they went to the cafeteria where Izuku and Toga sat at a table a little ways away since they didn't want to be bothered. Todoroki joined them, and a conversation began where Izuku told him everything, surprising the bi-colored boy. Todoroki. So you're the reincarnation of those two. Izuku. That's right. Todoroki. So how strong are you? Izuku. I can fight All Might with only 3%. Todoroki. How about we train together? Izuku. Sure. They continued talking until Class 1 approached them. Iida. As president, I order you to forgive us, but he was completely ignored. Hey, I'm talking to you, trying to touch him, but the green-haired boy had taken his hand and was squeezing it tightly, making him groan in pain. Izuku. I'll only tell you this once. Don't get in my way, letting go of the pirate version of Sonic's hand. Bakugo. Hey, you damn nerd, grabbing him by the neck. You think you're better than me? Izuku. That's right, Bakugo. In case you haven't noticed, I was the one who killed the greatest villain, breaking free of the grip. Besides, if your precious symbol of peace hadn't appeared, I'd be dead. Getting closer to his ear, you only have the embers. It's just a matter of time before All Might's power runs out. Enjoy it while you can. Further angering the Muslim boy who was about to throw an explosion, but was surprised to find it was gone. Bakugo. TSK, you'll pay for this. Izuku was walking through the hallways until he bumped into Uraraka. Uraraka. Deku-kun. Happily, look, I made you something. It's your favorite. Showing him a tub of katsudon. Izuku. I'm not hungry. Continuing on his way, but is grabbed by the brunette's hand. At that moment, Toga arrived, who saw everything and decided to listen to them. Uraraka. Deku-kun, please forgive me. I promise it won't happen again. I love you. Trying to kiss him, but the green-haired boy teleported behind her, causing the brunette to fall. Izuku. You think I'm stupid? You think you can say that to me after you cheated on me? Tell me something, Achako, how long were you with Iida when you were with me? Angry. Uraraka. Lowering her head, 5 months. Izuku. Hitting a locker, breaking it and scaring the brunette, but she calmed down. It's obvious you love me, but let me tell you something. I don't feel anything for you anymore. Now I'm in love with Toga. She was with me without caring that I was a hero and she was a villain. Uraraka. Slapping him, but she's the one who made you betray us. It was her. But she didn't finish speaking because Izuku slapped her. Izuku. You guys are even stupider for trusting a video made by villains. Besides, she had her reasons, but I forga because at least she faced up to what she did. Well you, what were you doing? At least you looked for my body, or at least you faced up to tell the truth to my mother. You're nothing to me anymore, I don't even consider you a friend, so if you don't want trouble, stay away from me. With that, she left, leaving Uraraka crying. She ran off and bumped into Toga, who had a smile on her face. Toga. I'm sorry, but you missed your chance. Then she went to where the freckled boy was. Chapter 10. The green-haired boy went to his room, which upon opening it contained the basics. A bed, a bookshelf, a desk, and a computer. He settled into his bedroom and lay down on the bed, closing his eyes. He then heard a knock on the door, opening it to find Eri with Mirio. Izuku. Can I help you with something? He said curtly. Mirio. Well, Eri wanted to come see you, and… Izuku. That doesn't matter to me. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm tired. He closed the door, but was stopped by Mirio. Mirio. Izuku, she's your, but he didn't finish as he was grabbed by the neck. Izuku. She's nothing to me, understand? Eri. Please, Dad, forgive me. She hugged his legs. Izuku. You'd better let go of me. But the girl clung tighter, teleporting to Mirio and causing the white-haired girl to fall to the ground. Mirio. If not the easy way, then the hard way. But Izuku made Mirio see death. From Sir Night-Eye. Eri. Mirio, are you okay? Seeing that Tintin was in shock and tears started to fall from his eyes. Dad, what did you do to him? But Izuku made him see overall. Izuku. I recommend you don't bother me again. Closing the door, making whatever they were seeing disappear. Mirio. What the hell? Trembling. Eri. And no, please. Crying. Meanwhile, Izuku was smiling as he lay down to sleep, but he used his power to enter Bakugo's dream. Izuku. Hello Bakugo. Bakugo. What do you want, you shitty nerd? Izuku. Nothing, I was just passing by and decided to say hi to my best friend, the one who turned his back on me and tried to kill me. Making the sky turn red. Bakugo. What the hell? At that moment, the streets began to fill with blood and a huge wave of blood approached them. The Muslim boy started running and saw that Izuku didn't move. Looking back, he saw only a corpse, which frightened him. He ran into a house and started climbing the stairs. He tried to use his quirk, but it didn't work. Izuku. What's wrong, Kaken? Without your quirk, you're nothing. Or wait, you're a Deku, don't you think? Bakugo. Shut up. Trying to hit him, but it was like he was a ghost. Izuku. Hahaha, you better get out of here. Burning into flames, the Muslim boy kicked a door, falling into a void where he saw several images of himself with the green-haired boy from when they were children until the present. He woke up and saw that he was agitated and sweating. Bakugo. Was that a nightmare? Lying back down. At night, none of the students slept as the green-haired boy tormented them in their dreams, making them see their worst nightmares or torturing them in 1,000 different ways. The next morning, the green-haired boy woke up with a smile on his face. Izuku. Stretching, I've never slept so well. Getting ready for class, he ran into Toga as he left his room. Toga. Hi, Izuku-kun, did you sleep well? Izuku. Yes, Toga-chan, and what about you? Toga. Yep, the bed is very soft, although I wanted to sleep with you. Hugging him. Izuku. Haha, how about we go to the classroom? I don't want Izawa-sensei to get angry. So, the two headed to the classroom, where upon entering, they realized they were the only ones besides the teacher who was asleep. Izuku. Wow, I think we're early. After a few hours, the other students arrived, but they looked tired and had dark circles under their eyes. When class started, almost everyone fell asleep. Except for Izuku, Toga, and Todoroki, they were talking. Todoroki. Izuku, why is everyone so tired? Izuku. I don't know, maybe they had a bad dream. Shrugging. Just then, a blonde guy on steroids entered. Almight. I'm coming in like a normal person. But he sees that everyone was asleep and the only ones awake ignored him. Hey, Aizawa, do you know what's going on? Aizawa. I don't know, but I like it. Smiling, he went back to sleep. Almight. Alright, guys, it's time for a match. But nobody paid attention to him, so he activated an alarm, waking everyone up and making Mineta and Kaminari fall out of their seats. Okay, now that everyone's awake, it's time for a match. Go put on your hero costumes. I'll see you on the field. So everyone went to their locker rooms where there were no problems with the perverts since they didn't feel like doing anything. When everyone left, All Might made an announcement. All Might. Okay, you'll remember this test. We'll make 2 teams where you'll be heroes and villains, let's see how much you've improved since last time. Ida. Excuse me, All Might raising his hand, but Izuku and Toga are still missing. But everyone heard laughter, so they turned their attention to see that the green-haired boy came out in an elegant suit and Toga came out in her villain outfit. All Might. Midoriya Shonen, why aren't you in your hero costume? Izuku. I know what I wear, he said curtly. All Might. Good. By the way, since there's an odd number of you, one of you will have to go alone. Izuku. I'll go and be the villain, going to a corner with Toga. I'll skip the matches and just tell you the one that really matters. All Might. Alright, last match. Young Midoriya against young Todoroki and young Bakugo. Bakugo. Ha. Finally, I'll kick that nerd's ass. Everyone was already in their positions. All Might. Begin. Bakugo was the first to enter, creating an explosion. Izuku. Sighing, I guess some things never change. Opening a portal beneath the bomb and placing it on the rooftop, that'll buy me some time. Heading towards the explosions. Bakugo. Hey nerd, get out of here already. But didn't finish, receiving a kick that sent him crashing. Izuku. Were you looking for me? Serious. Bakugo. TSK. He launched himself at him, creating an explosion that the green-haired boy easily dodged, angering the Muslim. Bakugo. You damn nerd. Fight me seriously. Don't underestimate me. Making lightning crackle around him, smiling arrogantly, die. He threw a punch that the freckled boy caught, generating an expansion that made the windows explode, surprising Bakugo and All Might. Bakugo. But how? Izuku. I told you, you'll always be beneath me. He launched himself at a Muslim. Chapter 11. Giving him a charge that sent him crashing into a wall, breaking it in the process. Before Bakugo could get up, the freckled boy grabbed him by the feet, lifting him up and slamming him hard against the ground, causing the Muslim to spit out a little blood, thus throwing him to the other side. Izuku. You see, this is the difference between you and me. Bakugo. Shut up. Angry. Izuku. How come you always said that a Deku like me could never be better than you? Letting out a laugh, making the ash-haired boy furious, who began to throw increasingly larger explosions. Everyone watched the scene from the control room. Uraraka. Shouldn't I stop them? Worried. All Might. He has to, but was interrupted by Toga. Toga. This is just the beginning. With a smile. All Might. Huh? What are you talking about? Toga. My Izuku-kun is just playing around, he's not even fighting seriously. Surprising everyone. At that, everyone paid closer attention. Bakugo was launching himself, throwing punches and he threw kicks, but they did nothing to the green-haired. Bakugo? I'm tired of this. Grabbing the safety on his glove and activating Ofa. Almight. Young Bakugo, no. But it was too late. The ash blonde had already released the safety and unleashed an explosion that shook the entire building and collapsed a large part of it. Everyone was scared, thinking that the green-haired boy hadn't survived an explosion of that magnitude. Toga. Grabbing the microphone, Izuku-kun, how about you finish this quickly? Calling everyone's attention. Bakugo. Huh? Are you crazy? The nerd died. But he fell when he saw the microphone disperse, and to everyone's horror, they saw the green-haired boy with a large part of his body burned and an arm torn off. Some couldn't take it and fainted, others simply vomited, but what shocked them the most was seeing how the green-haired boy regenerated and grew another arm. Bakugo. WWW what damn it. Startled, backing away. Izuku. Wow, I won't lie, that explosion was really strong. Slowly approaching. Bakugo didn't know what to do, and when he was preparing another explosion, the green-haired boy disappeared and reappeared behind the ash blonde. Izuku. This is over. In a swift movement, he punched him in the neck, knocking him out. Izuku. Now for Todoroki. Opening a portal, entering, and appearing where the bomb had landed. Todoroki. I see you're done with Bakugo. Activating his fire and ice side. Izuku. I hope you give me more of a fight. So the two of them threw themselves at the two-tone boy, freezing the floor, but it wasn't a problem for the freckled one. Todoroki threw several barricades, which Izuku simply broke with his fists. The two-tone boy created a sword and lunged at the green-haired boy. Izuku drew his scythe, starting a fight where Izuku made precise cuts, as did Todoroki. Then Izuku managed to kick the two-tone boy in the face, stunning him for a few seconds, which Izuku used to his advantage to throw him to the ground and put his scythe to the two-tone boy's throat. Todoroki. I surrender. Making the freckled boy withdraw his scythe and extend his hand, which Todoroki grabbed, being lifted up. Almight. Georgia ga the villains win. Surprised by the green-haired boy's power. Izuku, with his power, had healed Todoroki, who then opened a portal where everyone was, being greeted by Toga. Toga. You were great. Izuku. Although my suit it was destroyed, seeing that it had some torn parts. So everyone retreated, but All Might went to where the ash-haired boy was. As he approached, Bakugo woke up. Bakugo. TSK, damn nerd. All Might. Young Bakugo, what you did was wrong. Bakugo. Anyway, I don't have his power anymore. Shocking the blonde boy. All Might. What? Bakugo. The nerd told me I only have the embers and that Ofa had disappeared. All Might. Trying to activate his muscular form, but nothing happened. Bakugo. Is everything alright, All Might? All Might. Yes, go to recovery so he can check your wounds. So the Muslim boy went to the infirmary, while All Might went to where Izuku was to get answers. He waited until the last period of classes to be able to talk. Izawa. So tomorrow there will be another festival. Surprising his students, well then, you can decide what you will do. Getting into his sleeping bag, All Might enters. All Might. Young Midoriya, could you come with me for a few minutes? So Izuku got up from his seat and accompanied the symbol of peace to his office. All Might. Young Bakugo told me that you only had the embers of One for All, and that One for All had disappeared. Izuku. That's right. Making All Might's eyes widen, I see you've already forgotten what you told me when you handed it over, haven't you? You told me that One for All couldn't be taken without the wielder's consent. When you pulled my hair, thinking you had taken One for All, you only took the embers. All Might. But how is it impossible for it to disappear? Izuku. Well, it happened when you accepted my new power. Now, if you'll excuse me. He went to the door and, upon touching the doorknob, the symbol of peace spoke. All Might. I am so sorry, please forgive me. If I could turn back time, I would change everything. Shedding a few tears. Izuku. Too bad it can't be done. Leaving the symbol of peace devastated. The green-haired boy went to his room where, upon opening it, he found Toga. Izuku. Toga, how did you get into my room? Toga. Don't you want to see me? Sadly. Izuku. It's not that, it's just that I'm surprised you were able to get in. Toga. A magician never reveals his secrets. Approaching flirtatiously, how about we have some fun tonight? Cornering the freckled boy against the wall. Izuku. So you want to have some fun, huh? Now switching roles, putting the blonde against the wall. Thus, the two shared a loving kiss that gradually turned into a lustful one, ending up in bed. That night, moans could be heard coming from the green-haired boy's room, and they wouldn't stop until he came out. Son. Chapter 12. The next morning, Toga was found sleeping on the green-haired boy's chest, covered only by sheets. Izuku was the first to open his eyes, and upon seeing Toga, he smiled. He got up slowly so as not to wake her and went to shower. After showering, he changed and went out to prepare breakfast. Taking advantage of the fact that no one was around, he started making toast with eggs and bacon and coffee. He then sensed someone approaching, and it was Todoroki, who apparently hadn't slept well, as he looked tired and had dark circles under his eyes. "Izuku? Are you okay?" Pouring him a cup of coffee. Todoroki. "No, definitely not." Taking the cup and leaving the kitchen. After finishing breakfast, the green-haired boy went to his room. Upon entering, he saw Toga looking changed, and he smiled. They both ate and then went to the living room, where they found their classmates. Some were asleep, others were on the floor in the fetal position, seemingly traumatized. "Izawa. Alright, today you'll have 3 partners." The big 3 and Eri enter, but Eri's smile is gone, her eyes lifeless. "Mirio. We'll see your progress as heroes." Nijiire. "Huh. Why is everyone so tired?" Izawa. Pressing a button that triggers an alarm, bringing the class back to reality. Mirio. "Okay, let's go." Excited. After a few minutes, everyone is ready and Izawa is talking to the pro hero Cementus, who creates a small city. Mirio. "Alright, show me your progress." Stretching a bit. Toga. "How much time do you give them?" Looking at the green-haired boy. Izuku. "I give you between 20 and 30 minutes. Then Izawa gives the order and Mirio becomes intangible, hitting some students, while Nijiire and Tamaki fight those who try to avoid facing him. Only Bakugo and Todoroki remain standing against Mirio. Mirio. "Wow, you've really progressed a lot." Bakugo. "I will defeat him, activating Ofa." Thus, going at great speed, Mirio tried to land a blow, but it was in vain as Mirio passed right through him and Todoroki threw fire and ice, trying to land one of his attacks, but it didn't work either. At that moment, Bakugo decided to use all his power, becoming faster and making everyone move in slow motion. Putting on an arrogant smile, he went for Mirio, and just as he was about to hit him, something happened, and all he saw was that he was crashed to the ground. Bakugo. "What the?" Trying to activate it again, but it didn't work. At that moment, the freckled boy approached him. Izuku. "Well, it seems you used up all your embers." Bakugo. In shock, and "No, you're not lying. I'm better than you." But then he receives a punch to the stomach from Izuku, knocking the wind out of him. Bakugo. Bad damn it. Fainting. Only the big 3 remained against Izuku and Toga. Mirio. "Well, it's just you 2 left." Izuku. "Which one do you want to go after?" Toga. With a sadistic smile, "I'll go for her." Pointing at Nijiire, and for the octopus arms. Pointing at Tamaki. Izuku. "Fine." So Toga went against the big 3. Mirio. "Well, it seems it'll be you and me." Izuku. "Try to entertain me, okay? I don't want it to be boring." Mirio. "Overconfidence is bad." But before he could finish, the freckled boy appeared in front of him, punching him so hard he flew, surprising everyone. Nijiire. He hit Mirio. Tamaki. Looks like he'll have to get serious. Dodging a punch from the blonde. Mirio. "Wow, you're fast." But before he could stand, he received another blow to the face, and a force of great speed grabbed his foot, slamming him to the ground repeatedly. Izawa. "Izuku, that's enough." Speaking into a microphone, causing the green-haired boy to let go. Izuku. "What's wrong, Mirio? Where did your smile go?" But he received a kick that made him stumble back a little. Mirio. "You better get ready. I'm going to come at you with all my power." And so the 2 exchanged several blows, each time their fists clashed, creating a shockwave that made both teachers and students cover themselves. Meanwhile, Toga kept them at bay, causing the 2 aspiring heroes to fight each other. She stood in front of Nijiire, causing Tamaki to send out one of his tentacles, retreating and hitting Nijiire. This caused Nijiire to hit the black-haired boy with her own winds, leading to an argument between the 2. Back with Izuku, he was having fun. Izuku. "Alright, but let's see what you think if I go all out." Activating the Fury of the Titans. He then unleashed a punch that Mirio managed to dodge, and the wall behind him was destroyed as if it were made of paper. Toga had been disqualified since she had reached her limit with Nijiire and Tamaki, so they went to help Mirio. Tamaki. "This is going to be a problem. We'll have to work as a team." Nijiire. "Wow, he destroyed a wall like it was nothing. What kind of quirk does he have?" Asking a million questions. Izuku. "Excellent, the big 3. His smile widening, "This will be fun." So Izuku launched himself at Nijiire, but was stopped by one of Tamaki's tentacles while Mirio tried to hit him. It seemed the big 3 were managing to contain the green-haired boy. How wrong they were. Izuku. "I'm tired of this." Appearing behind Nijiire, Izuku delivered an axe kick that sent her crashing to the ground. Tamaki launched an attack, but Izuku used Nijire as a shield, knocking her out of the fight. Izuku then rushed to Tamaki, striking him, but saw that it had no effect as he had a kind of very resistant shell. Izuku? Yeah, it's tough, but not that tough. He launched himself again, this time with a bit more power from the fury of the titans, striking him and shattering his shield, the impact sending him slammed into the wall. Izuku? And now it's just you. Stopping the attack of the Tintin that appeared from the ground, I win. At that moment, Mirio saw that Izuku had placed his hand over his heart. If he deactivated his quirk, he would be dead. So, nodding, he ended the fight. Chapter 13. Classes had ended, and Izuku was heading to his room when he ran into Koda, who was with his aunt. Koda. Hi Izuku, happily. Izuku. Hi Koda, Mandalay. Mandalay. Hi Izuku, hugging him. Wow, you've gotten stronger, noticing the green-haired boy's muscles. Izuku. Thanks, but I have a girlfriend, making Mandalay pout. Koda, do you want to come with me to the mall? Koda. Really? Excited, receiving a nod. Can I come? Looking at Mandalay. Mandalay. Okay, but don't be late. Izuku. Okay, wait for me here, Koda. I'm going to change out of my uniform. Opening a portal, stepping through it, appearing in his room, changing into something more comfortable, then reopening the portal and appearing where Koda and Mandalay were. Mandalay. But how did you do that? Surprised. Izuku. It's part of my new quirk. What do you say we go? Pulling her, the little boy took his hand and the two left the building. On the way, Koda wanted to know everything the green-haired boy had done. Koda. And what did you do for a living? Izuku. Well, I took a job as a mercenary. Koda. A mercenary? Surprised. Izuku. That's right. Koda. Wow, that's great. And what kind of jobs did you do? He asked excitedly. Izuku. Well, I've done various jobs, like bodyguarding or eliminating dangerous people. The walk to the mall was exciting for Koda as Izuku told him about his adventures as a mercenary. He also showed him his quirk when he used his nightmare mode. It scared him a little since he had only seen it on TV when he fought Afo, but up close it was much scarier. He also showed him his scythe, which was so sharp it could cut metal like butter. When they were just a few blocks from the mall, they saw an amusement park. They looked at each other and smiled. They went to the park where they had a good time winning some games, while Izuku he used his quirk to win the games. They also went into the haunted house where Koda came out trembling and holding the green-haired boy's hand tightly, since Izuku knew that Koda wouldn't be easily scared, so he decided to use his power to make it more terrifying. Izuku. Checking the time and getting scared since it was very late. Koda, we have to go back or your aunt is going to kill me. Koda. Lowering his head, can't we go on one more ride? Izuku. Well, I guess one more won't hurt. Which one do you want to go on? Koda. That one, pointing to a roller coaster. Izuku. Picking up Koda and putting him on his shoulders. Okay, let's go. But they didn't know they were being watched by Mirio and Eri, who were there because Mirio had decided to bring her along to cheer her up. He never expected to see Izuku having fun with Koda. Seeing the scene, Eri became even sadder. Mirio. Eri, I never thought they were here. Eri. It doesn't matter, I want to go home. I'm tired. Her voice was subdued, which saddened the blonde boy. A few hours later, Izuku and Koda returned to the UA facilities where they encountered a furious and worried Mandalay. They both received a lecture from Mandalay. Koda. Thanks for today, Izuku. Hugging him, I had a lot of fun. Izuku. Returning the hug, me too, Koda. See you later. As they were leaving, they ran into Mirio, who didn't seem happy. Instinctively, the green-haired boy raised his hand, blocking a fist that was headed straight for his face. Izuku. Can I ask why that was? With an expressionless face. Mirio. Because of you. Eri no longer smiles, she's back to how she was before, sad, but the freckled boy's response enraged him. Izuku. Those are the consequences of her actions. Now, if you'll excuse me, wanting to leave, but he moved to the right as the blonde threw another punch. Mirio. I won't let you go until you forgive Eri. Izuku. If you couldn't even beat me with your friends, what makes you think you can do it alone? Mirio. I'll do it for Eri. Thus began a small fight where Izuku simply concentrated on dodging Mirio's attacks, while the latter tried to land at least one blow. Izuku. Are you finished? Mirio. Never, throwing a punch that was stopped by the freckled boy's hand, who then pressed on the blonde's hand, causing him to groan in pain. He then became intangible, managing to break free from the grip, but he didn't count on looking into the green-haired boy's eyes, so the latter took advantage to plunge him into his worst nightmare. Izuku. You're pathetic, looking at Mirio who was with a frozen, trembling face. I warned you, grabbing him by the neck and lifting him up, you know, it would be so easy to kill you. His scythe appeared and he placed it against his neck, but it wouldn't be fun. Besides, I haven't sunk so low as to hurt someone who is defenseless, releasing him and making his nightmare disappear. I'm not like you, thus leaving with a smile. When he got to his room, he saw that Toga was asleep hugging a pillow, which was a very sweet scene for the freckled boy. So he lay down next to Toga and she, as if she knew that the freckled boy was next to her, hugged him and said half asleep. Izuku-kun, putting her head on his chest. Izuku. Rest, Toga-chan, giving her a kiss on the forehead and falling asleep. Meanwhile, in the dining room, Class 1 was gathered, except for Todoroki. Bakugo. Do you want to tell me why the hell I'm here? Iida. We're here to see how we can win back Izuku's friendship. Bakugo. You woke me up just to see how you get the nerd back. Angry. Uraraka. That's right. Kaminari. And how do you plan to do that? Iida. We'll challenge him to a fight. Surprising everyone. Hiroshima. But he's too strong. Not even the big three could beat him. I'll pass. Leaving since he didn't want to die or end up in the hospital. Mineta. I'll pass too. I don't want to die yet. And so, little by little, everyone left, leaving only Uraraka and Iida. Uraraka. And now what do we do? Iida. I don't know. Sad, let's go rest. Remember that tomorrow is the sports festival. Uraraka. Iida, do you think we can bring Deku-kun back? Hopeful that they can get him back. Iida. I'm sorry, Uraraka, but you have to accept that the Izuku we know is gone, and it's all our fault. Clenching his fists and leaving a devastated brunette. Chapter 14. The day of the festival had arrived, and Izuku and Toga spent their time having fun. Of course, people stared at them, since he was the boy who had managed to kill the most feared villain of all, not to mention that the former villain who now wanted to become a hero was at UA. Naturally, murmurs were inevitable, but it only took Izuku unleashing a killer instinct and bloodlust for everyone to leave smiling. The day was wonderful for them. They ate cotton candy, caramel apples, and other sweets. They also went on all the rides. Izuku had won a giant teddy bear, which he used his distortion ability to give a more macabre appearance, which thrilled Toga. They also ran into Kota and decided to walk around with him, having fun. When the festival ended, Izuku said goodbye to Kota. As night fell, Izuku and Toga decided to go to the movies, where they saw a horror film. Afterward, they headed back to UA, but on the way, some guys Subject 1 approached him. Well, look what we have here, boys. Subject 2. Grabbing Toga, hello, beautiful, don't you want to have some fun? Izuku. If you don't want to die, leave. A little angry. Subject 3. Hahaha, don't make me laugh, kid. At that moment, Izuku ripped off his head with his scythe. Subject 2. But he didn't finish speaking because Toga had plunged her knife into his throat. When she pulled it out, a large spurt of blood splattered Toga. Subject 1. I'm sorry and I didn't, but before he could do anything, he felt a pain in his stomach. Seeing that he had a knife stuck in his stomach and before he could even pull it out, the freckled boy cut him in half, giving him a great bath of blood. Toga. This is fun. Izuku. You're right, but how about we have some fun? They spent the whole night killing the villains they found, leaving the massacre was merciless. The freckled boy didn't know it, but with each murder he committed, he felt alive. Apparently, he had developed an obsession with killing, but he would have to control himself since he wanted to be a hero and couldn't let his dream be snatched away again just because of his addiction to killing. Toga. Is something wrong? Izuku. No, I was just thinking about something. It's nothing. Toga. Okay. By the way, how are we going to get the blood off? Izuku. I don't think we thought about that. Laughing nervously. So they decided to borrow some clothes from a store that triggered an alarm, so they had to escape from some heroes in the area. But Izuku and Toga were more agile and managed to lose them, arriving at UA where they went to their rooms stealthily. The next morning, the news reported on the massacre that had occurred, frightening everyone except Toga and Izuku, who were smiling. After classes, the green-haired boy was going to see his mother since he hadn't had time since he returned because some reporters wouldn't leave him alone. Toga decided to accompany him since she wanted to meet her mother-in-law. She was nervous because she didn't know how she would react and didn't want them to be forbidden from being together, but Izuku calmed her down, telling her that everything would be alright. They took the train and after about 5 minutes they arrived at their destination. The green-haired boy was outside his house, a little nervous and undecided about whether or not to knock on the door, but Toga took his hand, giving him confidence, so he knocked. It wasn't long before a green-haired girl opened the door and upon seeing him freckled boy was in shock. Izuku, hi mom. Inko. Izuku, is it you? Shedding a few tears, is it really you? Stroking his face. Izuku. That's right, I'm back. At that moment, Inko hugged him tightly, thinking that if this was a dream, she didn't want to wake up. Inko. I missed you so much. I thought that, she couldn't finish because the freckled boy hugged her a little tighter, but not too tightly so as not to hurt her. Izuku. It's okay, I'm here, Mom. By the way, I want to introduce you to the person who helped me and was with me all this time. Introducing Toga. Toga, good afternoon Mrs. Midoriya. My name is Himiko Toga. Nervously, but received a hug. Inko. Thank you for bringing my son back. Toga. And no need to thank me. Inko. You must be hungry, right? Sit down, I'll get you something. They stayed like that until it was time to eat. That night, talking about what they had done. Inko. And tell me, have you done it yet? Making them both blush, hahaha, don't worry, you'll have to wait until you graduate and then you can give me several grandchildren. Making them blush even more. Izuku. Mom. Embarrassed. Inko. Haha, I'm just kidding. Izuku. Well, it's time to go. I promise to visit you more often. Hugging his mother. Inko. But next time, let me know, okay? Receiving a seat from him. Toga. It was a pleasure meeting you, Mrs. Midoriya. Inko. Please call me Inko. Hugging her, take care of him, okay? Toga. Don't worry, I won't let anything happen to him. Izuku, see you later Mom. Inko. Goodbye. Saying goodbye to the couple. So the two headed back to UA. They also decided to keep an eye on the city and it seemed there weren't as many villains or thieves anymore since according to the news reports there was a vigilante who was killing villains, making everyone afraid of him. They headed to the school and upon arrival, they received a scolding from Iida, but they simply ignored him and walked past. On the way, they ran into Izawa. Izawa. Izuku, I want to propose something to you. Izuku. Huh? What is it, sensei? Izawa. I want you to face off against classes 1 and 1B tomorrow. Izuku. Huh? Why do you want me to face them? Izawa. Because I know you haven't used your full potential and if you win, you won't have homework for 2 weeks. Izuku. Okay, I accept. Saying goodbye to Izawa, they went to their dorms since they were a little tired. Chapter 15. The next morning, the freckled boy woke up to find the blonde girl awake. Izuku. Good morning, Toga-chan. Toga. Good morning, Izuku-kun. So, the two got up and got ready for class. When they arrived, they saw that everyone was already there. Izawa. Well, now that everyone is here, put on your uniforms. You're going to a training session. So, everyone got dressed and went out to the courtyard where they met Class 1B. Iida. Hey, what's Class 1B doing here? Monoma. Didn't they tell you? Haminari. Tell us what? Confused. Izawa. That you'll be teaming up with Class 1B. Hiroshima. And who are we going to fight? Izawa. You're going to fight Izuku. Making some of them swallow hard. Akugu. Finally, I'll be able to get my revenge. Making small explosions. Lad King. Good, but first you have to warm up. Do 10 laps. Class 1B. Yes, sensei. So they started running. Izawa. Good, do it. Getting into his sleeping bag. After that short training session, everyone was ready. Izawa. Alright, if you manage to beat Izuku, you won't have homework for 2 weeks. Motivating the students. So everyone took their places and the fight began. Everyone rushed at Izuku, who simply dodged every attack he received. Akugu. TSK, damn it, fight seriously. Izuku. Fine. Getting serious. At great speed, he struck students who were alone or weak. He barely dodged a giant hand attack from Kendo. Izuku. Wow, that was close. Kendo. In a fighting stance, you have good reflexes. Izuku. Let's see how good the president of Class 1B is. Kendo tried to land several blows, but the green-haired boy managed to dodge or block them. Then the freckled boy decided to make a quick move, teleporting next to her and striking her in the neck, knocking her unconscious. The fight continued, with each passing minute students fell. Lad King. Wow, he's really strong. Izawa. Sighing, too bad he didn't use his full potential. Watching as the freckled boy attacked them mercilessly. The green-haired boy continued fighting. Some even used their quirks to immobilize him, like Todoroki, who tried to freeze Izuku's feet, but he always managed to dodge. Then Monoma appeared behind him, touching him. Monoma. Haha, now I have your quirk too. Izuku. Smiling, really? Mockingly. Monoma. That's right. In case you didn't know, my quirk allows me to copy the quirks of the people I touch. Arrogantly. Izuku. Then try it. So Monoma tried to use the green-haired boy's quirk, but it didn't work. Monoma. But how? Shocked. Izuku. He, grabbing him by the neck, well, at least you tried. Sending him flying and crashing him into the wall. That's how the green-haired boy finished them all off, and he wasn't even tired. Izawa. Alright, that's it. You can leave. So the students left. Classes went by normally, but at the end, Izuku and Toga were called by the principal. Izuku. Is something wrong, principal? Nezu. Well, we've had some activity from the League of Villains, and I wanted to ask you a favor. Izuku. And what favor? Nezu. Well, you were mercenaries, so I want to hire you. Izuku. And what do you want us to do? Nezu. I want you to kill the new leader, Tamura Shigaraki. We don't know where he is, that's why I also sent for you, Miss Himiko. Toga. Okay. With a smile. Izuku. Good, we'll do it. Nezu. Thank you. By the way, I want this to remain a secret. Nobody should know. Izuku. Don't worry, no one will know. So the two went back to the dorms and waited until everyone had gone to sleep. Seeing that no one was there, they decided to leave. Izuku and Toga searched all the possible hiding places, but they found nothing. Izuku. TSK, where could they have hidden? While jumping to another building. Toga. I don't know. Maybe they have a new place. Grabbing onto the green-haired boy's back. Izuku. How many more buildings do we have to search? Toga. Only 3. Pointing to a place, the freckled boy headed towards it. When they arrived, they didn't find anything either. They went to the next one, and just like the others, it seemed that everything in that place had been destroyed. They went to the last place that remained. Izuku. I hope they're there. Toga. Relax, as the saying goes, the best is yet to come. When they arrived, they saw that several villains were gathered. Toga. Something tells me that many people are going to die. While taking out her knife. Izuku. He. So the two they decided to enter, where everyone stared at them. Tamura. Hey, what are you doing here? Getting serious. Izuku. Nothing, we just came to do our job. Tamura. Attack. So everyone pounced on the green-haired boy and the Redeed, where they both mercilessly slaughtered them. Tamura. TSK. Kurogiri, bring the Nonu. So Kurogiri opened a portal from which a Nonu emerged. Tamura. Kill him. Pointing at the green-haired boy. So the Nonu pounced on Izuku, delivering a blow that sent him flying. Toga. Izuku-kun. Worried. Back with Izuku. The freckled boy was excited, finally a worthy opponent. Every blow they landed was lethal. The Nonu could keep up with him. He was so excited that in a moment of carelessness, the Nonu pierced his chest. Izuku. He, incredible. Grabbing the Nonu's arm and tearing it off, they both burst open and returned to the fight. Then Izuku took out his side, and no matter how many times he cut it, it regenerated. The freckled boy wanted to see how far he could go, so he transformed into his nightmare mode, giving the Nonu a blow that sent it flying. Then he teleported behind him, giving him an axe kick that slammed him into the ground. Before he could get up, the freckled boy let himself fall, stepping on his stomach, making him scream. But the Nonu grabbed his leg and slammed him against the ground several times. Then the green-haired boy teleported a little farther away. The two looked at each other and launched themselves, determined to finish that blow. Izuku decided to combine the fury of the titans to make his attack more deadly. Nonu threw a punch aimed at the green-haired boy's face, but he dodged it and then dodged it himself, causing Nonu's head to explode and kill him. Izuku had a smile on his face because of how exciting the fight had been. He went to where Toga was. She had killed all the villains. Toga. Izuku-kun, are you alright? Running to the freckled boy. Izuku. Don't worry, Toga-chan, I'm fine. Tamura. You killed my Nonu? In shock. Izuku. That's right, and let me tell you, he gave me a great fight. Tamura. Kurogiri sighed. But before he could finish, the freckled boy cut him in half with his scythe, splattering the wall with blood. With great speed, he also killed Kurogiri. Izuku. Well, I think we're done. Toga. That was fun. I think you'll have a reward tonight. With that, the two left, as the heroes would soon arrive. Chapter 16. Izuku and Toga were in a building watching the heroes arrive, horrified by the scene. They both laughed and disappeared through a portal, reappearing in the principal's office. Seeing them like that nearly gave the poor rodent a heart attack. Izuku. Principal, we've completed the job. Nezu. I understand. Here's your payment. Handing them their money. They took it and left, going to take a bath to wash off the blood. The next morning, everyone was in the cafeteria eating breakfast when the news broke that the entire League of Villains had been massacred. The news showed grotesque images that made some people run to the bathroom to vomit. Izuku and Toga came downstairs with smiles. Time skip. 6 years. In the 6 years that passed, many things happened. The students had already graduated, finally becoming professional heroes. Izuku was the new symbol of peace, and Toga was a top 3 heroine, carrying out infiltration and espionage missions, capturing various villains. Of course, they were heroes in their own way, since they occasionally killed villains and made excuses about acting in self-defense or claiming the villains were too dangerous to escape, thus making people believe them. Upon graduating, Izuku severed all ties with Class 1A, except for Todoroki. Eri was legally adopted by Mirio, although she sometimes wanted Izuku to adopt her, but that never happened. She tried to apologize, but the freckled boy never accepted it. It wasn't simply the fact that she had betrayed him, but that Izuku had almost died at the hands of Overall to save her. He had made her laugh again, only to stab her in the back. He would never accept that. So Eri simply had to accepting the harsh and sad reality, his smile, which he had once lost, was finally gone forever. Uraraka married Iida, Bakugo was the number 3 hero, even though he was always trying to be the number 1 hero, Todoroki the number 2. Each of them in the class had made their own life, but they never received Izuku's forgiveness, and that always left them with a feeling of guilt and remorse, causing them to have sleepless nights. Sometimes they dreamed of the day it all happened, and when they woke up, they had a photo from the first time it was taken, and there was the Izuku that everyone knew and loved, and another from the end of the year where there was simply Izuku, but different. He only smiled when he talked to Toga or Todoroki. To everyone else, there were only looks of hatred and resentment. Izuku had also proposed to Toga, which she accepted. Izuku had asked Todoroki, Aizawa and Endeavor to be the best men. Aizawa was surprised, and the 3 accepted. On the wedding day, Izuku was sweating profusely when he saw Toga walking towards him with a bouquet of flowers. Everything seemed to happen in slow motion. He never imagined he would be standing there, marrying someone who had once been a villain. But as the saying goes, there are no limits to love. Their honeymoon was in Paris, where they had a wonderful time, not simply because they were in the city of love, but also because they could enjoy fresh meat. Sadly, Inko died of a fatal illness, which made Izuku and Toga very sad, since Toga saw her as the mother she had always wanted. But before she died, she told them that she was proud of them and that this wasn't goodbye, but see you later. They held a funeral for her. A short time later, Toga became pregnant. Izuku was happy to be a father. When it was time for Toga to give birth, the green-haired boy's friend supported him, as he kept whispering words so rapidly it seemed as if he were summoning something. When the doctor came out, he told him that everything had been a success and that it was a girl. She had blonde hair with some green tips and the characteristic freckles. They named her Inko in honor of the green-haired boy's mother. Now the girl was 5 years old and had a very special quirk. She could manipulate blood. This was a combination of Toga's quirk and Inko's pyrokinesis. She could create weapons. Izuku trained her because if she didn't control it, she could harm others. At first, she could only create knives, but they had an edge that could cut through even a diamond, as if it were butter. Thus, the 3 of them lived happily. After the pain and betrayal that the green-haired boy had to endure, he finally found happiness. And well, this is the end of this story. I hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you guys want the next part. Also check out my other video that has been shown and left. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video please like and share this video. And have a fantastic day. Bye.